The Chromed Outlands stretch far beyond the towering walls of the neon-lit megacity, a wasteland where forgotten souls roam amidst the wreckage of failed tech and crumbling factories. Juno, a lone vigilante clad in worn-out cybernetic armor, scans the horizon. The Outlands are a graveyard for those cast out by the megacorporations, and it's here, among the rusted metal and jagged debris, that the Chrome Syndicate operates. Juno's mission is simple: bring them down. But in a world where survival is measured in cybernetic enhancements and betrayal lurks in every shadow, nothing is ever simple. Ivy, a former hacker turned renegade, stands beside Juno. Her cybernetic eyes flicker with a green glow as she taps into the hidden data streams flowing beneath the barren wasteland. "They're moving cargo tonight," Ivy mutters, her voice a mixture of dread and defiance. The Chrome Syndicate's operations have expanded, and rumors suggest the involvement of powerful forces within the government. For Juno, it's more than just stopping a crime syndicate. It's about unraveling the corruption that runs deep within the city's core. In the distance, the faint sound of an engine hums through the cold air. Milo, a skilled driver and mechanic, approaches in his heavily modified hovercar. Dust kicks up behind him as he pulls to a stop, his expression grim. "We've got one shot at this," Milo says, his voice steady but edged with concern. He knows that the Chrome Syndicate's resources are vast, and failure could mean their deaths, or worse, cybernetic reprogramming. As night falls over the Chromed Outlands, the neon glow of the distant city reflects off the jagged landscape. The team prepares for infiltration, unaware of just how deep the conspiracy runs. Juno's memories flash before her, a time when she believed in the system, in justice, before everything was taken from her. Now the mission is personal. She tightens her grip on her weapon, knowing that what awaits them in the heart of the Outlands could destroy everything they thought they knew about the Syndicate and the world they live in. With a final glance at Ivy and Milo, Juno steps forward. The wasteland feels alive with tension, the weight of an impending storm heavy in the air. The Chrome Syndicate has ruled the underworld for years, but now, in this moment, Juno feels the gravity of her mission pulling her into the darkness. As the team approaches their target, the truth about the Syndicate and its ties to the government begins to unravel. The wind howls as the team pushes deeper into the Chromed Outlands, guided by Ivy's data stream. Juno's every step is careful, her cybernetic enhancements are tuned to the potential threats around them. The terrain is treacherous, with jagged metal and collapsed structures forming a labyrinth of obstacles. In the distance, the faint hum of machinery grows louder. The heart of the Chrome Syndicate's operations is near. Tension thickens in the air as they know there's no turning back now. Milo drives the hovercar through a narrow, decayed pathway, the ground shifting beneath the vehicle's weight. He glances back at Juno and Ivy. "This is it," he mutters, his hands tightening on the controls. Up ahead, the ruins of an old factory loom like a fortress in the wasteland. The Chrome Syndicate has repurposed it as a base, and it's heavily fortified. Ivy's fingers fly across her holographic display as she hacks into their systems, bypassing security protocols to give them a way in. As they approach the factory, Juno feels the weight of the moment bearing down on her. She knows the mission is risky, nearly impossible, but this is the only chance to stop the Syndicate from spreading its influence even further. Ivy's voice cuts through the silence. "We're in, but their defense systems are on high alert. We've got limited time before they realize we've breached their network." The factory gates creak open, and the team slips inside. The interior is a maze of dimly lit corridors and whirring machinery. Juno leads the way, her senses heightened as she scans for threats. Suddenly, a squad of heavily augmented enforcers appears, their glowing red eyes locking onto the intruders. Juno raises her weapon, ready for the fight that's about to ensue. The sound of gunfire echoes through the factory as the team engages the Syndicate's enforcers. Milo covers Juno's back, taking out one of the attackers with a well-placed shot, while Ivy works frantically to disable the security drones that are swarming the area. Juno fights with precision, her cybernetic enhancements giving her an edge, but she knows they're up against overwhelming odds. The mission just got a lot more dangerous. The factory's dark corridors echo with the sounds of combat as Juno pushes forward, leading the charge. The augmented enforcers are relentless, their glowing red eyes tracking her every move. Juno's enhanced reflexes allow her to stay one step ahead, but the odds are stacking up against her. "We're running out of time," Ivy's voice crackles over the comms. The Chrome Syndicate knows they've been breached, and reinforcements are on the way. Juno's grip tightens on her weapon, knowing the hardest part of the mission is yet to come. As they break through the last line of defense, the team enters the central command chamber. The heart of the Chrome Syndicate's operations is a cold, sterile room filled with holographic displays and control panels. At its center stands the Crime Lord, a towering figure augmented with chrome cybernetics, his expression devoid of emotion. Juno's heart pounds in her chest as she realizes this is the moment she's been preparing for. But something feels wrong. The Crime Lord smirks as the team approaches. "You think you've won, don't you?" he says, his voice a metallic rasp. Ivy begins hacking into the system, but the Crime Lord seems unconcerned. "There's something you don't understand," he continues. "The Syndicate, the government, we're the same. Two sides of the same coin." Juno's eyes widen as the weight of the revelation crashes down on her. All this time, the very people she fought to protect were complicit in the Syndicate's rise to power. Before Juno can react, the factory's alarms blare. The government's elite soldiers are on their way, sent not to stop the Syndicate but to silence the team. Ivy freezes, realizing her hack was part of a larger trap. "They knew we were coming," Milo mutters, his voice dark with realization. The conspiracy runs deeper than they ever imagined. With time running out, the team faces an impossible choice: escape and live to fight another day, or confront the full force of the combined government and Syndicate forces. Juno's mind races as she locks eyes with the Crime Lord. "We can't win this," Ivy whispers, her voice filled with a rare note of fear. But Juno's not ready to give up. She takes a step forward, her weapon raised. "You'll never control us," she says, defiance burning in her eyes. The final confrontation begins as the Crime Lord activates a hidden set of turrets, the factory turning into a deadly maze of firepower and traps. Juno knows that even if they don't survive, they must expose the truth. The factory is in chaos. Alarms wail, and the air is thick with smoke and the whir of machinery. Juno, Ivy, and Milo fight their way through the labyrinth of traps as turrets fire relentlessly from the walls. The realization that both the Syndicate and the government have been working together leaves a bitter taste in Juno's mouth. She pushes forward, dodging gunfire and using her augmented strength to dismantle a turret. Their only chance now is to expose the conspiracy before it's too late. Milo leads the team through a side passage, his keen mechanical instincts guiding them away from the heaviest fire. "We've got to get to the transmission tower," he shouts over the din. Ivy is already working on bypassing the locks to the tower's access point, her fingers flying over her portable interface. The plan is simple. They need to broadcast the truth to the city before the Syndicate or the government can stop them. But time is running out. As they reach the tower, a group of elite soldiers, sent by the government to eliminate them, blocks their path. These soldiers are heavily augmented, their cybernetic enhancements making them nearly invincible. Juno knows that taking them head-on would be suicide, but they have no other choice. With a nod to Ivy and Milo, she charges forward, engaging the soldiers in brutal hand-to-hand combat, her augmented limbs clashing with theirs in a shower of sparks and metal. Ivy and Milo manage to slip past the soldiers during the fight, making their way to the control room. Milo hooks up a series of cables, connecting Ivy to the tower's mainframe. The moment she's in, the entire city grid is at her fingertips. But there's a problem. The transmission is being blocked. Ivy's heart races as she realizes the government has cut off external communication. "We've been locked out," she says through gritted teeth. "They're onto us." Desperate, Juno holds off the soldiers as long as she can, but the odds are overwhelming. The team is on the verge of failure when Ivy spots a backdoor in the system, an old, forgotten network the government doesn't know about. She quickly redirects the broadcast. "We're live," Ivy says, breathless. The truth of the Syndicate and government conspiracy begins to stream across every screen in the city. But as the final message goes out, the soldiers close in. The mission is successful, but survival is no longer guaranteed. The truth is out. Across the neon-lit streets of the city, every screen flickers to life, broadcasting the undeniable evidence of the conspiracy between the government and the Chrome Syndicate. Citizens stop in their tracks, watching in stunned silence as the layers of corruption are peeled back. But inside the factory, Juno, Ivy and Milo face their own grim reality. Reinforcements are closing in, and the mission's success comes at a high cost. Escape feels impossible. Juno's cybernetic limbs groan under the strain as she fends off the last of the elite soldiers. Sparks fly as her arm locks in place from the damage, and she knows she can't hold out much longer. The team has bought enough time for Ivy's broadcast to reach the entire city, but now they are trapped. Ivy's fingers race over the control panel trying to find a way out. "There's no time," Milo warns, his voice steady despite the chaos surrounding them. As the footsteps of approaching reinforcements echo down the corridors, Juno makes a split-second decision. "I'll stay," she says, her voice calm but resolute. Ivy turns to her, wide-eyed. "No, we're getting out of this together," Ivy insists, but Juno shakes her head. "This is bigger than me," Juno replies. She knows that someone has to buy them time to escape, and she's ready to make the sacrifice. With one final glance at her team, Juno turns to face the incoming soldiers. Ivy and Milo hesitate, but they know there's no changing her mind. Ivy pulls up the escape route on her display and nods to Milo. "Go," Juno orders, her voice firm. As they slip away into the shadows, Juno squares her shoulders, preparing for the final fight. She's outnumbered, outmatched, but determined. This will be her stand. As Ivy and Milo escape, the sounds of battle echo behind them. Juno's fight is fierce but short-lived, and she falls defending the truth they've uncovered. Outside the city, chaos erupts as citizens rise up against the Syndicate and the government. The conspiracy is exposed, and while Juno may be gone, her legacy lives on in the uprising she helped spark. The Syndicate's hold on the city crumbles, and the streets are flooded with the voices of rebellion. The truth, once hidden, now speaks louder than any chrome or steel.